What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and welcome to episode 94 of All Hail the King. This one is certainly overdue. It's featuring Faiza Hussain, aka Excalibur, and I actually had it almost ready to go before the whole summer celebration, so I really want to get it out of the way here. In part because we didn't have any of the new EISO, and also because I really want to make a video on the Generalist flight suit. That thing is amazing, so look for that soon. You're going to be seeing a lot of that suit. But for our first team up, we're using Nico, and that's of course because with Faiza as her teammate, you can't stop her resurrect. So she's back to being a powerhouse. In this battle, we just start with the Witch Arm, and that's because we're blocking debuffs. But on our very next turn, we'll of course use her level 9. I'm really not sure if she's going to get knocked out in this one, but if she does, she comes back much stronger. Sort of like how Philovel's going to work. Martyr seems like she's going to be incredible. But yes, at the time of this one, we were using our stamina drain, so sorry to those that don't like it. It is very effective, and I'm sure it's still going to be, though I haven't used it in a little while. It's definitely the Generalist flight suit for me this season. But on the agent's turn, he's hurt quite badly, then he uses the amplifier and has to recharge. So you can't beat that. On Excalibur's turn, we're actually going to use her level 2, and we're going to lock down Cloak and Dagger. See, just her and her Hippocratic Oath are pretty phenomenal. That's why she's just a fantastic character. You can continually lock someone down while you're killing them with dots and things. Or you can of course prevent debuffs, remove some of the worst debuffs in the game, and prevent despair. That's a lot of utility. The other option, have Nico tear into them with a huge AoE attack. So Anger of course must have back for more, but he's not going to do too much on his turn, he has to recharge. So with my agent, we're going to use the Lunacy, drain some more stamina, and then we still have the Blackest Void. The great thing about this is it does everything as normal, but also drains stamina with this suit. So yeah, the agent has to pass as well. With Faiza's next turn, we're going to go ahead and use Bright Blade and make sure if they do somehow incredibly knock out Nico, she'll be coming back. Plus of course we get those extra buffs from Led by Light. So all in all, a great move. Just to go over that one more time, Lead by Light says attacks gain Ethereal Strike, then attacks gain Ethereal Strike and ignore defense, and Lead by Light 3 says attacks gain Ethereal Strike, ignore defense, and Finest Hour. You know, there's definitely similarities with her and the Generalist flight suit, but the flight suit is pretty easy to use, I have to say. As far as this enemy team, they would already be knocked out if it wasn't for back for more. So we could have used some despair ourselves. Still though, we're going to take these guys down once again. So after all this, yes, Faiza can still do damage, so check out her level 1. That's the end of Cloak and Dagger. And with our level 1 from Nico, she will easily knock out Angerer a second time. So that's our first team up, a pretty strong contender. But next we're going to use Faiza and Colossus. This team of course was made to be a lot more resilient, kind of an annoying brick wall type team up. And honestly, we didn't expect Spitfire to go after Colossus, but we'll take it. So yeah, she's just making him stronger. And even the Rapier isn't going to hit him that hard. But you know what's even worse is the fact that Null's also proccing an extra turn. And he's going to use World Breaker. Now that's some bad luck. Then after an attack run, he's going to get yet another extra turn. And so he attacks my agent and a Rapier also hits him. This is pretty ridiculous, I have to admit. I honestly don't know if the enemy team could have had better luck. That was about as great as you could possibly start a match. So let's see if we can come back and win this. My agent's going to use the Lunacy, and yes, we are going to drain some stamina, so that could help. Then we're going to use the Smothering Shadow. After that, Null gets another action. But he does have to recharge. So on Colossus's first action, we'll use Steel Curtain, and that grants covered. So 50% less damage. Then we have the collapsing AISO on his level 9, so this should work out against this enemy team as well. Plus it does very nice damage. Spitfire and the agent after his dots are almost knocked out. Also, he has to recharge. So with Faiza, we're going to use Bright Blade, knowing that Spitfire is going to be knocked out. And then back to my agent's turn, we just need to drain stamina once again. Honestly, Meteor Swarm was our biggest concern, and still is a little bit. So we're going to use the Light Fantastic for a bit of a heal. And that Mirror Reality. Null, though, has to skip his turn. So with Colossus, we'll use Steel Curtain. And then we could use this level 9 and just knock them both out. But instead, we're going to Decimate Null. This attack does over 41,000 damage. Now that's a nice hit. So moving on to our third and final team up. It's going to be Enchantress and Faiza. My thought on this one was Enchantress used to heal a lot with the Resonant EISO. And so I figured, well, if we can stop Despair, she can still heal a ton. And maybe she would be interesting as a team up. So yeah, that's pretty much it, but they do have Warding Essence to start out, so we'll just use a Magic Missile. And there you do see how she heals. After that, let's just recharge. What's the point? This one didn't exactly start out perfectly for us, but still, we do get a preemptive counter, and she takes the brunt of that hit. But on Excalibur's turn, we'll go right to Bright Blade. So now no one should be able to stop Enchantress's healing. Their Cloak and Dagger are going to use quick reflexes, and then they attack Enchantress as well. So she definitely seems to be the target. On my agent's turn, we can use, first of all, our free action Psyche Operator so we can start putting debuffs on the enemy team. After that maneuver, it's time for the Lunacy. So we should start draining stamina right now. And lastly, we like to go with the Smothering Shadow. Dots and more stamina drain. Stamina drain certainly isn't dead, and it's still very viable. But the enemy agent does get to use the Staff of Agony. So hopefully that's going to be it. Okay, and it is. Now on Enchantress's turn, we can go ahead and apply debuffs so we can use her Charm and her Alluring Voice. And we just kind of want to mix those up. Then we can fire some magic missiles. We will use Charm on Null because it would be nice to make him skip his next turn. And then we'll fire our missiles on the enemy agent. Now sadly, we didn't heal from those. So yeah, I can tell you this team is certainly my least favorite of the bunch. But on Faiza's turn, we could lock someone down with their level 2. Or we could use Triage. And I'm actually going to go with Triage. So for Cloak and Dagger's turn, this could be bad, but they have to recharge, so we didn't have to worry. So back to using the Lunacy. And after we use that, we can still use the Blackest Void and remove some more stamina. This should make them have to skip their turn again. It's honestly, I'll give it to you, pretty ridiculous. But it just illustrates what the stamina drain thing can do. This enemy team pretty much can't do anything. And while I would like to use our level 9 Emerald Wave, I just don't think it's the time yet, so we'll use Charm once again, then some Magic Missiles. And the whole time we just can't heal from it. Apparently our EISO got broken, I don't know what else to say. Someone in the comment section below will probably say, well, if you spin around 3 times in your chair and close your eyes once too many times, then Playdom decided that you can't heal ever again with Enchantress and the Resonant EISO. So that's probably a rule and I've overlooked it. Sorry about that. It really doesn't even matter because we're going to lock down Cloak and Dagger, who probably didn't have stamina anyways, and then we're going to go back to using the Lunacy. Although this time my agent is actually going to have to recharge himself. So going to their turn, well, they still can't act. And we still need stamina for that level 9, so we'll recharge on Enchantress's turn as well. This is a really interesting section of this fight, I know. Null's turn, and he's not going to do anything. So once again, we'll use Bright Blade. And Cloak and Dagger this time. Okay, still no action. So back to the Lunacy. And following this, we can use a Smothering Shadow again. so the enemy team is in some trouble. Now, going through all that was pretty painful for me and probably for you, but Enchantress is coming up, and we're finally going to use her level 9. Unfortunately, Back for More does proc on the enemy agent. Still though, within our stamina budget, we're going to use a few more debuffs, or well, just one in this case, and then unleash the Emerald Wave. Not a bad hit, but it certainly can do a lot more damage than that. Don't get me wrong though, Null took a big hit, 43k, that's solid. But hey, Cloak and Dagger, they still remain alive, and that's kind of upsetting. So we will attack with the Excalibur, and then on their turn, well, they're still going to live. For those of you who have stuck around through this third battle, let me know in the comment section below. Just put Excalibur or something like that, and I'll know you made it through this battle and you're a hardcore fan. I do appreciate it, and I try to put the better fights up front, but this one just did not go that great. It does show the power of stamina drain though, but I think we already knew about that. Still, we'll lock Cloak and Dagger down once again, and then hopefully end it with an Atom Smasher. So here comes a probably decent finish, but maybe not that big. It takes out Cloak and Dagger and the enemy agent still lives. So annoying, but he's going to go down to dots. So that's it for this episode, but I do want to thank you all for watching. Ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck, and take care.